Okay, continued po tayo. I'm Heda. I live in Bangkok. I'm an OFW. I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. Okay, so we're going to continue with our talk regarding my message, okay, to the rich and the wealthy in the Philippines. So I was talking about, and I was sharing you this story of a friend of mine who his family they own a business, and they actually own I think 3 different businesses in 3 different sectors. So the whole family work together. They are Christians. They're strong believers, okay, actually, and they have you know when people actually live their faith, okay. I should say that. I would say that. So that's how I would describe them. Okay, so that's what, okay, that's their background. The family also was stationed before in Spain, and so they have been living outside the country for a long time. So when they went back home, they started the business. It's a man pooling business, and they have a different structure. They have a different format to their system. And he was telling me about this, and I felt excited at the potential of the fact that if businesses in the Philippines operated that way, it will be so much better for our people. It will be very empowering to our people, and I felt like that was going to give us so much in terms of nation building. So what is the structure? What is the format? Okay, it's like this. His main premise, okay, he said, was that if the employees, if they said, if our goal in our company was to be the best, okay, to be up there among the best in terms of what we are doing, he said, then we need to give our employees the best, not the best, high salaries, so that they can work and they can produce, and they can give of their talent and their skills to the company, because they are well compensated. Okay, so that's his main premise. And then, however, he said, okay, there is something different about the Filipinos. So this person, okay, this friend of mine, has been living outside the country for quite some time before going back home to put up their business. So he has seen a lot in terms of different cultures outside the country and how different cultures, different people work. So he said there is something unique about the Filipino. So I asked, what is that? He said, the Filipino, it doesn't matter whether he or she is given such high salary, such many valuable benefits, whenever there is something wrong in terms of love, whether it's family or to a life partner, to a boyfriend or a girlfriend, every time there is a love problem, there is always the challenge or the problem always, how do you say this, affects all the other areas, all the other aspects of his or her life, so that it eventually affects, okay, the person's output in the business or in the company. And so I said, so that's a very important observation. And because other companies perhaps don't see it that way, they don't feel that there is a need for them to address that issue among our people. So eventually, they resort to this very extractive system and not put up something that will support the employees. So I asked my friend, so how do you deal with it? He said, so we looked at the person, and we looked at what are the aspects of a person's life all of it, that would eventually have an impact on the person's productivity at work, then he said it's all of it. It's the physical health, the emotional, the financial, and there's always the love thing. Of course, okay, there's also the family and the spiritual. And I said, that's very interesting. I've never heard a business owner say that in those terms. I've never met a business owner, Filipino or not, okay, who thought of it that way. So he said, so what we did in our company is this. They determined that for each area, for each aspect of a person's life, like the spiritual, for example, they're going to bring in trainers. And maybe they would sometimes bring in people who would be like therapists, for example, so that their people's needs in all aspects of the individual are taken care of. Isn't that amazing? I felt that that was something unique. It's something so forward thinking, and it's something that may be an answer to some of our problems back home. I wish that this video would reach some decision makers among our business sector, because the Filipino outside the country is brilliant, is skilled, resourceful, initiates projects, goes way above and beyond what is required. It's just produces stellar work and achieves so much with so little. So if you put that together with a system that takes care of the Filipino, wouldn't it produce such a great nation? That I think we all dream about. How do we turn our systems around so that we produce, or we encourage the best among ourselves, but we also give supportive systems to whatever the individual needs, because I think that's the missing part. And I think you would agree with me that taking care of the employee part, that's what's been missing in our systems. And that is why we feel that we need to help in this present government, in this current government, because we feel that this government has some solutions to some of our problem. And so here's the thing. My friend said he had an employee, a brilliant employee. She had some heart problems, love problems. And so the employee just kind of deteriorated in her productivity at work. And eventually he had to let her go. And so he said that was before he changed his system within the company. So now he brings in people. They bring in trainers. And sometimes, okay, they would bring in advisors or psychologists. Okay, it depends on the goal of the company in terms of taking care of its employees. So I hope that our country in the Philippines would have these kinds, more of these kinds of people, more of these kinds of rich and wealthy who have a concern and care and a sense of humanity towards their employees, because that's what we need. The employees, the Filipino people, are not cattle. They need more of this system where we feel taken care of. Because when we produce so much. We produce so much, more than what is expected of us. And we do it willingly. We do it with joy. Once we are given what we need. And we have all seen that, I think, whether you have been working outside the country or not. We all have been privy to that idea of what the Filipino is able or is capable of doing. And so my last bit is this. To a rich and wealthy in the Philippines, stop making just donations of relief goods when there are typhoons or earthquakes or floods. Those are just band-aids in our system. Try to broaden your way of looking at things. Okay, fly like an eagle and soar above and look at things on a much bigger scale, and then see the potential of the Filipino for who he really is, because there's so much there. And whatever affects the younger and the not so powerful part of our population actually also affects our rich and wealthy. If the employees or the regular Filipino has a much stronger buying power, wouldn't that be better for your businesses? Because then, we can go shopping more, or we can use your services more because we have more money to buy. So it all works together. It's like a chain. Whatever is our weakest link would eventually have an effect to our entire system. And so, my call and my plea to our rich and wealthy, please stop making donations. Instead, try to put up libraries, education programs, trainings. Provide those to our people so that people are going to be empowered. They will have more ideas, more knowledge, more information about how to make their lives better. And you have the power to make the changes in terms of contractualization, in terms of how the employees are paid, what kind of benefits the employees receive. And so let's work together. That's, the Filipino is happy with very little. We don't need so much. The Filipino is all about family. And yes, sometimes there's the hugot part. So that needs to be taken care of too. Because, we are all about love. That's all for now.